Kleptok, report. Yes, okay, yes. Send him in. So you are to be my new initiate. I see. Well, there's a long line of failed initiates. The pile of bodies forms to my right. So you had better get out there and prove yourself against our foes. I want you to get out there and capture the best competitive multiplayer, and don't report back to me until you have crushed our enemies into dusts.
Battlefield 3!
So I see you've survived our first trial. Excellent. Most do not make it this far. But don't pat yourself on the back just yet. I am not impressed. Our foes advance, and you must return to the field and fetch me the best use of Nolan North. Only then will we begin to turn the tide against the never-ending hordes.
Portal 2!
Down clock. Man, that is trouble. Situation's looking pretty ugly. Such a beautiful woman, if you don't mind me saying.
Response. Yeah, how you doing? Give me another chance!
Response.
No, you're nice with the wrong turn. Oh, thank God. You saved my bacon, pal. I can't say a thing. What just happened? Better open fire.
In space.
Well done, you show promise. You remind me of a young version of myself. You see, when I was out in the field, untold conquests and riches were ours. We spent our time out in the taverns and saloons of this great world, and I would walk up to the ladies and I would say, "Hey, have you ever had sex with a spacefarer?" Kleptok, yes. What? No. It seems that our enemies think that they can step to us. This is unacceptable. You, best looking game, get it immediately.
The Witcher 2!
It seems that you can accomplish almost any task we throw at you. And that's why I'm proud to say you're no longer just an initiate. You're now my Vice Zanzibar, my right hand. I'm left-handed, but the right hand crushes just as well. With this, of course, the tasks will get notably harder. And it's on you to turn the tide once again, repel our foes. They are at our gates. And fetch me the Check Yourself Before You Riggedy Wreck Yourself award for things that need to take a break before they become the worst trend.
Sequel fatigue!
Kleptok, this report you give me is gibberish. How can you say that there's treachery within our own ranks? We have the enemies pushed back into the barren backwater corners of this world. We will throw them off. I will not start a hunt for these worms, as you say. Oh, hello, yes. My good friend. You have proven yourself loyal to our cause, and that's why I must call on you one final time. The best use of 3 is what stands between us and total victory. This world is ours. Let's drive these dogs from it now. Permanently.
Gears of War 3!
Welcome to the celebration. It's time. We have won, my friend. And now that we've conquered this world, we'll conquer several others. Several others. Thank you. Yes. To our victory. To your excellence. To my excellence. To our excellence. You have poisoned me. This is. I always should have known. Clip Talk was right.
And those are your winners for Day 3 of Giant Bomb's Game of the Year 2011 Awards. We are now going to take a look. I'm Ryan Davis. Joining me, Patrick Klepek, Brad Shoemaker, Jeff Gerstmann.
Hello.
And, of course, live via satellite, Vinny Caravella. Vinny, how you doing?
Doing all right. Thanks, Ryan.
So now is the part of the awards where we're going to take a look at Trackmania 2.
Of course. Yeah.
As we have been looking at...
Because you demanded it.
We have been looking at your picks for what you thought our favorite games of 2011 were going to be. Now, for both myself and for Brad, we got to show our number one picks. To dedupe the list, though, Jeff,
Yes,
you also got
your
Saints
number
Row.
one, and your number one picks were my number one and number two.
Yes, so we just went down the line.
So went down the line until we found something that no one else got picked for, and
Turns out,
Trackmania 2 Canyon.
Here's a big surprise,
my
you guys.
number 3 game, as you voted, but yeah.
All right, Jeff, show us why people seem to think you love Trackmania 2 so damn much.
Well, I'm going to jump on the server I'm currently paying around $15 a month to maintain.
Great.
Around?
And we'll get into it here. All right, here we are. This is Trackmania 2 Canyon.
Is that the canyon?
Yeah, it's
The canyon?
It's the canyon environment.
Okay.
Look at those clouds.
That's the car.
Yes, that's the car. And
That's the share.
And I have I like to play.
Oh my God! There's other cars!
What is happening?
I've played Trackmania 2, and that still freaks me out.
Is this really how this game is
It
played?
kind of screws up your first run. You can turn
my
off
God.
all the ghost cars. Those are all real people. But you can turn off all those cars if you want. Oh,
What?
I've screwed this up.
No. You
Get
still
through the
have
hole.
this.
Sink it.
You still have this.
All right, I've hit the
No,
brakes.
no,
Stick the
no,
landing.
no.
Wait,
I hit the
right, to the right,
brakes.
to the right, to
I
the
hit
right.
the brakes a little too early there.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to restart.
But you didn't have to do that.
So this is all pure.
No.
Trackmania 2, much like Trackmania 1, pure time trials.
Yeah, exactly. It loads into a level, and basically you have about 6 minutes to set the best time on a track. All these tracks are user-created.
Do you believe in love?
And this is your server, so these are maps that you've picked.
Yeah, these are maps and music that I've picked also.
And it seems like that's a huge part of the appeal. Is and what has made this a fun game has been community involvement.
Yeah, there are tons of
post-release
tracks,
support.
and adding new tracks to the server is pretty easy. There's just an online repository that is community run. It's not even like damn it. It is really hard to talk and play this game at the same time.
This kind of reminds me of San Francisco Rush in a weird way. And San Francisco Rush was a game, especially if you're going for all the weird tricks that were, especially in the N64 versions of those games, that you were constantly restarting and just sending yourself back to try and do very specific things.
Yeah, this is sort of like that. You want to have the perfect run.
Basically, you do one run that you feel okay about, and then you sit there and you hammer away at it for the rest of your time.
To try and shave hundredths of seconds off.
Yeah, and like after the first couple of minutes or so, your top 8 or 10 positions on the track will be within a second or two of each other.
Way tighter than that. Way tighter than that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, your top positions are like, you're right, like hundredths of seconds.
Who made this track, Jeff?
It says in the upper right corner.
Like this is not a stock track.
No,
right?
this is definitely not a stock track.
Okay. Have you ever made a track?
No, I have not gotten good with the editor. It is ostensibly easy to use, but I've been unable to...
You got it?
No,
It seems
I don't
like
have
you got to launch out of that hole.
Thanks.
We're not even trying to.
Thanks, Gary.
He's avoiding the hole.
Never avoid the hole.
No, I mean, there's the big... We'll see if he can get to it again.
So Ryan, you
Little
participated
two-wheeler
in the Mania Planet, right?
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Trackmania 2.
How's your time been? Similar?
Yeah, it's a unique experience. There's nothing quite like Trackmania, and I'm a fan of arcade style racing games, and there is a real crazy physics model at play here.
That was a pretty good run, I think. Maybe.
Way to jinx it.
We'll see. He's not there yet.
Oh.
All right.
So a lot of these,
good enough for 14th place.
a lot of these will be point to point. It seems like the majority.
Yeah, there are tracks that do have laps in them, but they're just not good for time attack mode. There are other modes that you can get into if you are into circuits, but it's not why you come. I'm turning too late here, and that's the real problem.
That's gonna be bad.
You did not make it.
So you don't think you could launch up out of the ring above the
No. That is not what we're trying to do. That would be way slower.
Okay.
Where'd you get your cool car skin?
I don't know. There's a site called Mania Park that has models and skins for cars.
Is that stuff free?
Yeah, that stuff's all free.
Some cash in planets.
Some of them do cost planets to use.
How many planets do you have at the moment?
I have, let's see here, 123,000 planets.
Is that a lot of planets?
That's a lot.
That is
planets.
a ton of planets.
That is an excessive number of planets.
And you get,
all of the planets?
All of the planets.
you get planets for hosting a very good
yeah,
server.
for hosting this server and having it be part of the official ladder ranking, I get planets when people play on it.
So I feel like aside from, man, these tracks look crazy, the first thing that I hear from people when they first look at a Trackmania game is, why is there so much shit on the screen at all times?
There are mods. Actually, by default, it doesn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It will have the thing on the right. This is actually missing a panel for some reason. On the left side, there's supposed to be a cross-server records listing. There are a lot of plugins you can run that tie to central databases. So over here, we have a karma system where people can vote on the quality of the tracks. And then here we just have, we'll just go backwards and do the GPS for this track, and so the track creators can build in runs into their tracks. As some of the tracks get a little trickier, it makes sense to watch these before you get into them to see, like, oh, what am I even supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going?
That spinning text is pretty great.
That's a real nice, like, Quake 3 era looking, like, awful font.
Hey, we figured out how to make the text spin now.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool, huh?
So we have the persistent local records for this server, and then the rankings of this current round, and then over here there's supposed to be a separate box that has dedicated cross-server rankings for this track. So even with these user-made tracks, like, there are still databases full of data about those tracks, which is pretty awesome. It gives you something to kind of continually go for, though the people who are good at this game are insane.
Hang on, I need to throw up. Yeah, I can tell that you've reached a high level of play when your interface looks like a World of Warcraft rating
and all
mod.
that stuff around there is yeah. So here are some of the Detamania records. There are two separate tracking services for records across servers, and I have installed the plugins for both because why not?
So all this stuff is server driven.
This stuff is all kind of optional. Here's the other one, Mania Records. That was the one over there.
Oh, nice! Look at this.
That seems to be the theme of Trackmania in general. Why not?
That is absolutely one of the.
I think that's why Jeff loves it, is because the whole ethos is, I don't know, why not?
Yeah, it's there are people who play it in a very intense fashion, and as I've played more of it, I've gotten better at it and care a little bit more about some of that stuff. But it is the sort of thing where if you just have 15 minutes, you're like, I'm just going to load this up and play a little bit, and kind of move on. And if you're going out there and jumping across all these different servers, you're seeing a lot of different tracks that you wouldn't see anywhere else and may never see again.
And you're seeing ridiculous
Sweet
opening cinematics.
intros. It's like a Bruckheimer film.
Yeah.
So is there collision in the other modes?
No.
So there's no collision.
Never collision.
There's no way to turn collision on in this video game.
No, there's no collision in this video game.
Look at that stream
That's
of cars
great.
coming out of you. You're like a car gun.
Yeah.
There's a purity to Trackmania. It wants to do one thing, and it executes on that exceptionally. I actually know this track.
Don't you think it would be less distracting to turn off the other cars?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what fun is that?
Well, I
I
mean,
went the wrong way.
Oh, you put it the wrong way.
It wouldn't be Mania.
For the video, sure, but like when you're playing at home, do you turn that stuff off, like to try to maximize?
If I am having trouble on a specific track, eventually the car is kind of spread out enough that it's not really an issue. I put out word that we were recording this right before we started recording it, so a bunch of people jumped on.
That explains
because there weren't a lot of people on before. So normally, by hitting that wall right there, I would reset. That would be.
And the advantage of having the other cars on, especially in tracks like this, is a great example track because this isn't always just a set piece of concrete. You're not always on something that is recognizable as a track.
And it's nice to have the other cars on. Yeah, it's nice to have the other cars on sometimes because they often know where they're going.
Right.
If you don't know,
unlike you,
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Or if you're just like some of these are kind of like puzzle games. Some of these are like. You have to figure out this weird jump, and you have to hit it just so to get to the next section.
Like you're figuring out how to subvert normal driving conventions.
Exactly.
And there are shortcuts. People figure out like ways to shave crazy time off of their runs.
Those are usually the maps that get deleted. If it's just like if you know this trick, you will be 5 seconds faster than people that are driving it the way it's kind of supposed to be driven.
Yeah.
Those ones get weeded out by the community pretty ruthlessly. They don't like those. I kind of like them.
What do you mean by weeded out?
Like people will rate them lowly with on that karma thing, and it will get kind of bred out of the community in a lot of cases.
Because these guys are all about the spirit of the race.
Exactly. I think there's something to be said for having tracks with some tricks in them here and there, and there are a few that have tricks that are not quite shortcuts, but are You
just have to know how to approach them.
Yeah.
It's not immediately apparent what you need to do.
And, it's really just kind of figuring out, like, are there spots where you need to kind of take your finger off the gas button? No, missed that. Or are there spots where it makes more sense to drift versus go full speed through a turn? That sort of stuff.
Right.
Have you seen anybody doing any like paid advertisement kind of stuff on their tracks? Like it looks like they're taking money and putting Adidas ads up.
No, nothing like that. You can totally put custom textures into your track. In fact, why don't we? I'm gonna
let's
go to my
up.
laptop here because I have server control here, and
we should also be clear that online is the way to play this game.
Yeah, there is a whole offline game to it, and it's not why. Again, it's not why this game is cool.
What do you even do in it?
They made their own tracks, and it has their own music on it, and none of it's all that great.
It sounds like both those things get ditched the moment that you go online.
Yeah,
with all those cars.
Yeah, so I just forced the end of that track early.
They're all man.
Yeah, they kind of are.
This is one of the weirdest games I've ever seen.
It's just a driving game.
It is.
Granted, it's my first Trackmania, but damn, dude. And this is in a year that gave us Cargo with Quest for Gravity.
You're saying this is somehow weirder than that?
This is right up there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Done. I can't.
What's
no more.
What's
no
going
more.
on?
Trumped.
What's going on?
No more.
Oh, Cher.
Beauty is what's going on.
Okay, yeah, predictions. How long after this video goes up before we hear from Cher's record company?
I don't know if this is even her, or if this is, some cover that's been turned into a dubstep remix of...
Karaoke version?
Yeah, I mean, with all those effects, you can't tell if that's actually her voice.
No, Cher just talks that way.
So, Jeff, do you believe this is the first step in the Mania Planet world's domination, or do you think this is going to be it?
Shoot Mania is gonna.
You think it's going to come?
Definitely.
They've been saying that for
showed
years,
it.
though.
They showed Shoot Mania in France a little while ago.
So it's actually going to happen?
They showed off the editor. It will be some kind of first-person shooter thing.
Is everybody going to start from the same point and spread out with no collision?
I have no idea what it'll even be.
I think I'm more interested in the RPG Mania, or Quest Mania, or whatever they're calling it. Yeah.
Oh. Keep it together, yeah.
Beware of heavy drops.
But you see down there in the lower right, my previous best time is 55 seconds, so that 101 is garbage. All right, let's keep it moving, though.
Did you make this track?
I did not make this track.
It's okay if you did.
I did not make this track.
He made this track.
I wish that I had made this track. Let's see.
What about this music track?
I'd not make the music track either. But man, wouldn't it have been cool if I did? I'm trying to look through here, see some of these other tracks here.
Wait, in the corner is that you can control the music? Is that what that is?
No, I think that's like another like admin skip to the next track sort of thing. So this is one of the this is an older track, but it's kind of become one of the more popular ones. You see in a lot of servers.
Song.
Yeah, you do.
That's pretty good.
Nice horn.
So you ringing your horn?
No, that's the winner's horn rings automatically at the end of a race.
Nice applause.
What are you gonna show us now?
This track is called Tiger Blood.
I heard you brought a track.
I did.
You want to set this up?
This is a full speed track, so theoretically, if you're racing it right, you are holding down the gas button the entire time.
By the ganja rider.
Is that a term? Full gas track?
Full speed is what they call them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fucking damn it.
This is all me.
I hate this game.
I love you.
I love this game.
That's a bad start. Too wide. Too wide. Also, this joystick pulls to the left a little bit.
You are playing this with a pad.
Yeah, a lot of people play it with keyboard.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it made more
That's
sense.
a less than optimal start. I
think
should not be even drifting here.
Oh.
Is all the gamepad stuff nicely built in? Is it just plug it in and you're all right to go?
You have to configure the buttons and stuff, but it does at least recognize the pad. I didn't have to install any like joy to key nonsense.
Is it analog on the stick?
It is analog on the stick, which makes me think like that would be better. But I just don't know if like everyone got used to playing it on keyboards.
Whoa!
I don't know if there's any actual advantage to playing it on a keyboard, but I like playing it on a pad. Oh, did I cut that tight enough? I did. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
there we go.
There it is.
What? But
I'm gonna guess you've played this one before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it is.
Third place.
Not
for
bad.
now. For now.
Not bad.
I love
For
the way
now.
I love the way that you just throw away your car at the end of every race. It's like fuck it, I don't care.
Like, do you have to do that, or is that just how they're designing the track?
That's just how they're designing the tracks.
Okay, great.
Yeah, of just the track ends.
I mean, when the track ends, the camera does stop and the car keeps going. That's
Okay.
always going to happen. But it's a matter of like, you know, what do you have past that? You could design the track to have a nice road or something, you know.
But usually they don't.
No, usually they do not. All right, so you see my time so far on this run is faster than my last one. If I can keep... Oh, I'm turning too much.
Oh, it's close. Oh, it's close.
Now, see, now I'm behind.
Oh!
Oh.
Yeah, that was going to be no good.
Well, the red is pretty attractive.
Yeah.
It is. You want to go right into it. Just
Tell me about
all right, cutting that a little tighter. So you start to look at it like checkpoint by checkpoint. You have that thing at the bottom center that'll kind of tell you, you know, if you're ahead or behind.
And you get the little update every time you pass
every
through
time you pass the
checkpoint.
checkpoint, let you know where you're at. So you get to a point eventually where you're just like, nope, that's not fast enough, and you quit on a run, or that happens.
That seems really convenient, rather than thinking, oh, I don't know, I can't really, because you can't do the mental calculations for the entire run if you're halfway through, but you can tell checkpoint to checkpoint if you're too far to make up for it.
Yeah, so the better tracks have plenty of checkpoints in smart places to let people.
So that's manual. That's
That's part of creating the
determined.
track. Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to pass all the checkpoints to finish a track, and that's where shortcuts come into play. If a checkpoint is poorly placed or there aren't enough of them, sometimes you can take a jump a weird way and bypass large portions of the track, and that's something that creators have to watch out for.
You mean maniacs?
absolutely.
You say you haven't done much with the level creator, but it seems like it's a lot of prefab pieces and maybe even just tile sets.
It is. It's all prefab pieces, and it is this default tile set. That is one of the other user mods is texture packs, and you can embed a texture pack into your created map if you like. Let's load up one last map here before we go.
Okay.
But this is just supposedly Canyon, right? And there would be
this is all the Canyon set, and there'll be other environments that they'll sell that'll theoretically have different handling because they'll probably have a different car and stuff like that. Driftig is what I'm looking for. So I'll hit the next button here on my server panel, and then we'll go over to the commands tab. Sorry, this takes a little bit. And then I'll hit the next track.
Just listen to the music.
And then people will go like, "Oh, why did
Oh man, what just?
Oh.
And then the people that are like, "Yes, there you go. First guy out of the gate."
Can you customize your horn?
Yes.
Can you make it sound like La Cucaracha?
Yes.
Great.
You can customize your user icon as well. The flags are all in the game by default, but the ones with the checkerboard patterns are user ones that have not loaded in. They've got a system in place where you can create...
Drifting!
Oh! You have locator files, which are text files that just have URLs in them that point to... It's like how Unreal, you could specify like, yes, this is the mod that I have, but don't just peer download it from me. Go get it from this server because it'll be way faster. They have that built in.
But can you download it peer-to-peer?
Yes, assuming that the people playing have their firewalls set up properly and all that stuff, which a lot of them don't. So
because they're from Europe.
So this track has music, but it hasn't downloaded yet. There we go.
Now it has.
So this is track specific?
Yeah, this is track specific music included by the creator.
You know, for such a raw wad of game mechanics as this, it's not a bad looking game.
Yeah, totally. I thought the first game looked pretty nice. Also,
good sense of speed.
Yeah,
and this has some nice lighting effects and.
How far?
It's kind of all just like real raw as far as like what's in it.
Cars.
The other cars fucking you up?
Yeah, let's say that.
Jeff, will there be more Trackmania 2?
Yeah, there'll be Trackmania 2, whatever next environment is.
Right, like that's the thing. Like they will serialize what is Trackmania 2.
Yeah,
right?
they've said that there will be 3 environments per game.
Okay.
So 3 Shootmanias, 3 Trackmanias.
Such good drifting in this game.
Yeah, it feels great.
It feels fantastic.
What tops your wish list for next environment?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have a preference.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. We're going to keep going just to show the track here.
About, I don't know, Trackmania 2 Deciduous Forest.
That would be pretty good.
Trackmania 2 Moon.
One of the tracks is using a texture pack that I think has textures ripped from Mass Effect.
Oh, man.
That's pretty good.
Oh, man.
Let's turn the cars back on. And I got one finish out of it.
We were talking some about this, Jeff, and urban environments, I think, was something that we discussed as being distinctly lacking in previous Trackmania texture packs.
City stuff, like just putting buildings around the track might be an interesting way to take it. Sure.
Because it's been primarily just kind of these weird environments carved into...
Yeah, it's been island, and like the environments aren't really always indicative of what's going on. It's really just that. Yeah. Precision is often required.
But you don't... From what I've seen you play on this, you never hit some kind of invisible wall once you go off-road.
No,
it's yours to conquer.
Keep going, so.
Yeah, if you want to keep driving around, you got 6 minutes, man.
Yeah, if that's how you want to spend your time, go for it.
What happens if you get out of the environment?
Everything goes black, I think. Eventually you just race up a mountain and... So this is a case where I think there's a GPS for this one as well. We'll wait here and watch it. Because it's useful for this one because there are a lot of wrong turns and not a lot of arrows.
Yeah.
So I know how to go because I've spent a lot of time on this track, and they do have some arrows, obviously, but if you're not paying attention, it's real easy to just go the wrong way, and then when you get to the finish line, you just drive through it and keep going because you have not passed all the checkpoints.
You're like, wait, oh shit.
Can users alter the physics?
No. The physics are locked to the car. So you can create your own car models, and people have created different models. The one I'm using at home is actually a recreation of the Trackmania 1 stadium, or the Trackmania United Stadium car.
So it's
but the physics are locked. That is not something you change.
And similarly, car and environment as far as the model goes.
What do you mean?
As far as being linked like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the handling model and the environment are linked. So even when they had 6 environments in the previous Trackmania release, it was like each car style, each environment had a different handling model to go with it.
It's their way of kind of evening out that everyone's on the same playing field. You're not picking different. It's not like a traditional racing games. You're picking cars with different handling.
Right. Everyone has the exact same gameplay options to them, which is to say, no option.
Which is to say, go download a bunch of mods. Why don't you?
Which is to say, hang out right here on the track and spin broads.
Spin some brodies, Jeff, while we wrap this thing up. Any other closing thoughts here on Trackmania 2?
It's awesome. You know, it's unfortunate in some ways that they didn't go farther with some of the UI stuff and explaining some of the systems to people, because it's the sort of thing that, you know, if you already played previous Trackmania games, it feels like, you know, you're right at home, but that's because so little of it has changed, and it's still real weird. So it's unfortunate that they didn't like go a little further and try to make it a little more user-friendly, because the core game is very friendly and easy to understand.
Yeah.
But everything around it is kind of a mess, so that's too bad.
But there you go. There's Trackmania 2 Canyon. Jeff, thanks for giving us a look.
Yeah, dude.